It is January of 2024, and I have finally crystallized on this year's theme, word, intention, vibe, etc. that I want to carry with me this year, and hopefully it will then just become part of my thought process as I move forward in the years to come. If you've been following me for a little while, I have been doing this kind of intention setting at the beginning of every calendar year for the past 5 years, as opposed to resolutions or specific goals. And this method has actually worked out very well for me. And there's a few of you in my community who love to geek out about this thing and ask me about what my word is and what my words have been. It is not coming from a place of lack. It's not coming from a place of self-improvement. Rather, it's a way to center myself and to identify what my values are, and just basically to live a more intentional and aligned life. After a while, practicing this becomes part of my normal thought process, and it has been interesting to see how every year's theme has built from the previous years. I've been intentionally doing this since 2020, and I'll go through a review of what those themes or intentions were. I'm just going to touch on them lightly because for every single one, I could probably ramble on for a very, very long time. So this is just a quick recap over my last 5 years of annual intention setting. 2020, my intention was pause. How ironic was that? We all know what happened in 2020. The world was basically put on pause, but my purpose for this word was to curb regretful decisions, actions, things I said, by being more mindful and being more deliberate in what I say and do. 2021 was don't force it. So this is do not force feelings, events, projects to happen, relationships, passions. For me, it was to be guided by things that happen more organically than trying to force something into being. For 2022, my theme was I already know. And this is about trusting and taking comfort in my intuition that I often already know what the right answer is. I know what the right course of action is for me. I know what decision I should make. I know who the people are that I should be around, despite the fact that my actions may not always align with that knowledge. It's knowing that I already know, and that deep wisdom will continue to grow with each passing day. 2023, last year, my word was autonomy, and this was twofold. One, a reminder that I am an autonomous sovereign being in control of my thoughts and actions. And two, that I would like to make decisions around my life that allow me to live, work, and be a part of teams and make commitments that still allow me a certain amount of autonomy to operate, because I have learned that that is a value that is very important to me. So, we're now at 2024, and where do we go from there? I hope this isn't a little anticlimactic for you, but this is a small word with huge meaning for me, and I know a lot of people have been using this word a lot, and that is the word why. And yes, it's very big, it's very vague, and it can mean many things. So let me tell you how I plan on using this why to help me live an aligned and intentional life for myself. Whenever I have a thought, whenever I choose to do something, whenever I have an impulse, I am going to question why. Why do I feel this way? Why do I want to say that? Why do I want to do that? And it sounds obvious. Many of us do things we feel we should do, and then we don't necessarily question, why do I feel this way? Where does this should come from? Is it a value that's been ingrained in me from family, from religion, from society, from marketing? And I think a lot of it is just questioning where our thoughts come from and where do our beliefs actually come from? Why do I believe this? Why do I want to do this? Is this driven from personal desire for improvement? Is this driven from ego? Is this driven from expectation? And not that any of these answers are necessarily right or wrong, but I think identifying our motives can potentially help curb different courses of action that might be more or less beneficial for us. Why, for me, will help me assess and identify some of my beliefs, some of my belief systems, and to even go deeper and think, if the influences that are driving these systems weren't there, would I really believe that? Like, why do I feel this way? Why do I believe that? The other part of why is to help question the actions of others. And given the state of world affairs, a lot of us have been asking, why? Why is this happening? Why are people doing these things? Sometimes it's helpful to understand their why, even if we don't agree with it. It brings some sort of reason to things and helps us develop a sense of where others are coming from. It helps us also to potentially be a little bit more empathetic. So instead of just saying they're an asshole, stop at that. Maybe question, why are they like that? Why do they believe the things that they believe? Is it because of how they were treated previously? Is it because they had an abusive parent? Not that these become our problems to fix, but it helps us to become a little bit more understanding, to become more compassionate people, too, when we start questioning the why of others. It is a question I have been finding myself asking about a lot of things, not just outside in the world, but why do I want to do this, from big to small? So as small as, why do I feel like crap? Or why did I choose to wear that? Or why did I react this way? Or why do I want to do that? Why do I want to do that show? And I find that the more I ask myself this question, the more truths are revealed and could illuminate some things that I need to work on for myself. Anyway, so that is this year's theme. I hope you have found this informative, interesting, illuminating. If you have watched this far, thanks. Thanks for indulging me. And maybe you can question some of your whys. I wish you all a very thoughtful and intentional 2024 and beyond.